Welcome to our election night edition of Eyewitness News. I'm Catherine Herr.
And I'm Brian Dorman. We start tonight with breaking news. Donald Trump is the projected winner and second term as president, according to the Decision Desk headquarters on News Nation and The Hill. Here is a map of the electoral votes tonight. 270 is the official number needed to win the White House. Donald Trump with 248. Kamala Harris with 214. Here's the breakdown of the national vote at this hour by percentage. 51% tonight supporting Donald Trump, 47% supporting Kamala Harris, with 70% of the votes in tonight. We have learned that Kamala Harris will not be speaking tonight. Donald Trump is expected to speak, and if he does during this newscast, we will dip in to listen to his comments live. Again, the Decision Desk headquarters on News Nation and The Hill, projecting Donald Trump the winner tonight.
Now to the race for California's U.S. Senate seat. It was held by the late Dianne Feinstein. Tonight, Democrat Adam Schiff appears to be the senator-elect. With 59% of the vote, Republican Steve Garvey with 41% of the vote.
In the race for Congressional District 5, incumbent Republican Tom McClintock with 61% of the vote. His challenger, Democrat Mike Barkley, with 39% of the vote. On to the race for Congressional District 13, Republican incumbent John Duarte with 49% of the vote tonight. His challenger in the lead, Democrat Adam Gray, with 51% of the vote. A watch party is being held in the North Valley for Adam Gray. And
CBS 47 Sydney Charles joins us live at that gathering in Atwater for this 13th District congressional race. And Sydney, you spoke with Adam Gray tonight.
Yes, I did, Catherine. He tells me he is excited and energized to be able to get another opportunity to represent California's 13th congressional district. Now, the watch party has since cleared out, but hundreds of people showed up, and Gray tells me he is very excited at the amount of people who showed up to support him. And he also says that this campaign was very fun for him. He says it's the most fun campaign he's worked on. His team has gone out today up until the very last minute, knocking on doors and hosting community events. A top priority he's been focusing on throughout the course of his campaign is increasing access to clean water in the valley. He tells me that's still top of mind tonight.
Water's a priority for me. We got to both build more water storage and protect our water rights here in the greatest agricultural valley in the world.
Another priority, building a fully independent medical school at UC Merced, which he says will increase access to health care for Valley community members. Now, ultimately, now that the polls are closed, Gray says he is excited to watch these results trickle in throughout the rest of the evening. For now, reporting live in Atwater, Sydney Charles, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Sydney, thank you. And let's take a look at other congressional races.
We have the numbers for Congressional District 21. Incumbent Democrat Jim Costa and Republican challenger Michael Maher. Here are the numbers tonight. Jim Costa in the lead with 53% of the vote. Michael Maher with 47%. This is with 43% of the precincts reporting. Moving on to the race for Congressional District 22. Incumbent Republican David Valadao and challenger Democrat Rudy Salas. The numbers tonight. Valadao, the incumbent, with 54%. Rudy Salas with 46%. This is with 42% of the precincts reporting. Turning now to state assembly races, beginning with District 8.
The seat is open because incumbent Republican Jim Patterson is terming out. Republican George Radonovich, a former Valley congressman, tonight with 47% of the vote, trailing Republican David Tongipa with 53% of the vote, with nearly 50% of the precincts reporting right now. We talked with Tongipa earlier today. CBS 47's Jennifer Zucker joining us now live in studio with that interview. Jennifer.
Brian, Catherine, Republican David Tongipa says he's been campaigning hard for these people's vote, saying he will continue to work hard for his district, and it is now in their hands.
We've been working for a long time, 560 days. That's how long that I've been campaigning, and mainly because I think the voters of this district actually, they matter. Their voice matters, and I want to work as hard as I can for them. I put it all out on the field, and you got to let the play.
Tongipa says the main issues he is focused on in California are the cost of gas, groceries, insurance, and forest management. This is a race we'll continue to watch, but for now, live in the studio, Jennifer Zucker, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Jennifer, we appreciate you. Thank you. Turning now to the race for Assembly District 27. Incumbent Democrat Esmeralda Soria with 54% of the vote tonight. Republican challenger Joanna Garcia Rose with 46% of the vote.
In the race for Assembly District 31, incumbent Democrat Dr. Joaquin Rambula seeking another 2-year term. Tonight, he has 60% of the vote. His challenger, Republican Salomon Verduzco, with 40% of the vote. And this is with 43% of the precincts reporting. Turning now to the race for State Assembly District 33.
Republican incumbent Devin Mathis is retiring at the end of his term. 2 Republicans are in the race to fill his seat. Tonight, Alexandra Macedo, tonight with 65%, a large lead here tonight over her challenger, Xavier Avila, with 35% of the vote, 41% of the precincts reporting. Seats on the Fresno County Board of Supervisors are also being decided tonight.
We start with the race for Fresno County Supervisor District 2. Incumbent Steve Brandow being challenged by Fresno City Council member Gary Bredefeld, who is terming out of his seat on the council. Tonight, Brandow with 43% of the vote. His challenger, Bredefeld, 57% of the vote. And a watch party is being held tonight for Gary Bredefeld in Northwest Fresno.
And that is where we find our Ben Morris joining us live from a gathering at Pardini's. Ben.
Well, Brian, Catherine, a feeling of, confidence and optimism out here tonight at the council members' watch party here in Northwest Fresno. And Councilmember Gary Bredefeld represents District 6 on the Fresno City Council. He is terming out after representing the district since 2017. His opponent, incumbent Steve Brandow, has been on the Board of Soups since 2019 after serving on the District 2 seat in Fresno City Council. And as we told you, Bredefeld is leading. And while he's not declaring victory yet, at least not officially, he is confident after these early results.
Everyone knows, except the establishment and all the insiders, that there needs to be change. And I'm bringing that change because I'm standing up for the people and I'm going to be their voice, regardless of what the insiders and the establishment wanted. They lost tonight, and they lost in a big way.
And as for Brandow, he told me over the phone he was obviously hoping for a better batch of initial results tonight, but says he's going to stay hopeful, and we will continue to update you with the latest on this race. But for now, reporting live here in Fresno, Ben Morris, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Ben, nice job for us. Thank you, my friend. Turning now to the race for Fresno County Supervisor District 3. Incumbent Sal Quintero with 46% of the vote, being challenged by Fresno City Council member Luis Chavez with a lead tonight with 54% of the vote. Again, these are early returns on this race tonight. Turning now to the Fresno City Council race.
There is one seat on the council that's being decided. That's the race for Fresno City Council District 6, the seat currently held by Gary Bredefeld, who has termed out, so that seat is vacant. The 2 candidates are Nick Richardson with 49% of the vote, Roger Bonakdar just 2% more, 51% of the vote. So Bonakdar in the lead with 51% and Nick Richardson with 49%. These are early returns.
Issues for Northeast Fresno, I think, are safety and the future of our community. So public safety, economic development, housing, and pushing back against homelessness. And I've got some great plans for that, and we're going to launch them on January.
So Bonakdar talking about his plans if he's elected to office. We have a look now at 2 big school bond measures that are taking place here in the Valley.
And let's start with Fresno Unified Measure H. Measure H would authorize Fresno Unified to issue and sell bonds up to $500 million to upgrade classrooms and school facilities. This needs a 55% vote in order to pass. Look at the numbers, early numbers tonight, mostly in favor here, 60% to 40%. Voters are also choosing 2 positions for Fresno Unified Board of Trustees. Here are the numbers for Area 5. Andy Levine leading this race tonight. In the race for Fresno Unified Trustee, Area 6, Daniel Bordona leading with 52% of the vote.
Now to Clovis Unified. Measure A is a bond sale measure that would raise $400 million for the district's growing needs. It needs 55% to pass. So far, the numbers show that 55% of voters are saying yes at this point. The no vote at 45%. And also for Clovis Unified, a closely watched race is tonight for the school district trustee for Area 2. Right now, it looks like it's virtually tied. Molly DeFrank with 41% of the vote. Wilmatam Hashimoto also with 41% of the vote. And it looks like there is about 21 vote difference between the two, so just razor thin. Another Clovis Unified race, this for District Trustee Area 4. Hugh Autry with a lead, 63% of the vote. Gina Vu, 37%.
Taking a look now at Measure Y. This is for the city of Clovis to maintain first responder function for the fire department and Clovis police. The numbers tonight supporting this measure, Measure Y, yes votes 66% to 34%.
And going back to the race now for Assembly District 21, a watch party for Congressman Jim Costa being held in Fresno tonight.
CBS 47's Brent Cannon joining us live from the Elbow Room. Brent.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Mr. Costa is speaking right now. I'm going to step inside and see if I can give you a peek on that one. We had hoped to hear some new numbers, but nothing really has been released yet that would be definitive. We probably are not going to get those numbers until tomorrow or the next day. So for right now, it looks like he's holding about a 6-point lead. Don't know if that's going to be enough for victory on this one, but he is addressing his followers and supporters here at the Elbow Room. Let's listen in for just a second if we can hear what he's saying.
It's registry call, but I'm not sure. But Arizona. So
he is talking a little bit about the shift in power that we are seeing across the country and the way the Senate and the congressional seats are shaping up, because there can be some changes, and that's going to affect what he does as he goes into the rest of his term. So we'll have to continue and watch for the next probably 24 hours before we have any official results here. But for the meantime, it looks like Congressman Costa does hold about a 6-point lead as we continue to watch the results power in. So that's it, live from Fresno. I'm Brent Cannon. Back to you guys.
Brent, thank you. And Costa's challenger Michael Marr hosting a watch party tonight in Kingsburg.
CBS 47's Jason Toktajian was there as the election results rolled in.
Friends, family, and supporters of Michael Marr gathering at Magosh Brewing in Kingsburg to witness polling results for what has been a tight congressional race. Democratic Congressman Jim Costa has won 10 congressional races representing California, but during this year's election, a familiar challenger awaits.
Our campaign has sparked so much interest from every group of people in every walk, and actually every party we have in the room tonight.
Marr hosted an election day watch party in Kingsburg. The Republican challenger is a veteran, a former FBI agent, and a business owner.
The overburdening regulations, the taxes, the cost of healthcare and the utilities, all of these things, I feel it. And so I think there is a unifying relation that this isn't about a party.
Marr is a political newcomer. He ran against Congressman Costa back in 2022 to represent California's 21st district, falling short by over 10,000 votes. But Marr says this year's election is different.
I look forward to the future of this valley growing, solving our water issues, using the technology that we all know is out there and implementing it to make our lives more affordable, easier, and really the growth of our Central Valley.
Marr and his supporters tell me that they're optimistic about the future of their campaign and the future of the country. In the studio, Jason Toktajian, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Jason, thank you. We have more on the race for Congressional District 13. A watch party is underway for John Duarte in Turlock.
And that's where we find CBS 47's Catherine Phillips. So, Kat, what can you tell us about how people are feeling there tonight?
Well, Catherine and Brian, the mood here is honestly very high-spirited. People are energetic, mainly not because of this race. These results are really tight right now, but some of the national news coming out of other states, coming out of the presidential race, has really kept the mood energized and enthusiastic amongst supporters of Congressman John Duarte. Now, we spoke with Congressman John Duarte himself. He says that he is waiting until every vote is counted in this race, but he's feeling that energy as well. He said to me, you know, it's a good night when Republicans are winning. So that's what he says about his race so far. So again, too close to call here for anything to be sure, but he's used to waiting. He's waited in the past. Now, he also says he has less cash on hand than opponent Adam Gray. He says they're making the most of the resources, and he says they've spent all the money they do have very wisely. He says those resources have helped him get out the vote, and he's had more money than last time. Another thing he didn't have last time, his record in Congress. He says he's proud of his record, and it's been an asset to him on the campaign trail.
Oh, my record's clear. I am the single most moderate Republican in Congress. I vote my district. This is a swing district, and I vote my district. I stand up for immigration reform. I stand up for common sense values that help the local communities. I don't get wrapped around the axle of a bunch of socially conservative issues. I'm an economic representative for this district.
Now, going back to 2022, Duarte had to wait for weeks for this race to get called. It took so long. Both Duarte and Adam Gray, his opponent, went to orientation at the Capitol because it was so close. And ultimately, in 2022, it was decided by 564 votes. The country was waiting for weeks to decide who would end up winning this race. So for this year, we are just going to have to wait and see how many votes will separate these two men. We're live tonight in Turlock. Catherine Phillips, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Kat, thank you so much. And a reminder, you can also track the local and state numbers by heading to our website, yourcentralvalley.com. Our election night coverage will continue, but before we go to the break, a look at a few more local races.